Summary and review of the book. Think Good. Thoughts that change a person's destiny. For a long time, I have lived a life struggling with work, constantly chasing after it. But when I look back on that life, deep down, I think no one is as happy as I am. Of course, there were undoubtedly many difficulties along the way. But now, looking back, those difficulties still make me think how happy my life is. I believe this is because I have always been strongly conscious of and continuously practiced doing the right things in the right way as a human being, regardless of the circumstances. I believe that whether we build an extraordinary life or destroy it depends on how we choose to think. About the author, Kazuo Inamori. Kazuo Inamori was born in 1932 in Kagoshima Prefecture. He is known as a businessman, billionaire, and philanthropist with great influence in Japan. He faced many failures from a very young age. However, Kazuo Inamori did not let those experiences of failure hinder or diminish his will to strive. Instead, he used those failures as a driving force to achieve success and live a fulfilling life. He is the founder of the multinational high-tech ceramics company Kyocera in 1959 and the telecommunications company KDDI in 1984. Both of these enterprises are listed among the world's top 500 companies. At the age of 78, he continued to achieve extraordinary success by taking on the position of CEO and reviving Japan Airlines from the brink of bankruptcy, turning it into the most profitable and leading airline in the world within 2 years, despite having no prior experience in the aviation industry. Thanks to his wisdom and brilliant leadership, Kazuo Inamori became a legend, revered as one of the management saints in the business world. In addition to his business endeavors, he also practiced Buddhist philosophy. It can be said that Buddhist thought greatly influenced his leadership style in both his professional and personal life. Kazuo Inamori always believed that genuine motivation driving workers in a company must come from pure intentions, from righteous thoughts combined with a willingness to contribute to others. This is his life philosophy and core value. This mindset helped Kazuo Inamori become a person of great influence worldwide. Book summary. Think Good is a book that gathers valuable advice on life principles that help you create a successful career and build a fulfilling life. In this book, author Kazuo Inamori helps you realize that great success in life originates from thoughts. Thoughts that lead to success stem from a pure and righteous heart. After many years of navigating the business world, facing numerous challenges and storms, Kazuo Inamori has distilled an important formula for success. The formula is summarized as follows. Life-work results, thinking, enthusiasm, ability. Ability includes intelligence and physical health. This is considered an innate factor. However, through practice, ability can completely change and develop over time. Enthusiasm is the effort and determination to train oneself in learning and working. Enthusiasm affects ability. Once you put in the effort, your ability will improve over time. The third factor, which he values most and considers the most important in determining a person's success or failure, is thinking. Thinking is simply understood as ideas, philosophies, or what is known as one's worldview, perspective on life, attitude towards life, and humanity in how they live, work, and grow. Thinking is seen as the key factor that determines whether a person's life will develop strongly or regress. If we evaluate the three factors above on a point scale, ability and enthusiasm would be rated from 0 to 100. However, thinking would be assessed on a scale ranging from -100 to 100. Why does Kazuo Inamori rate thinking with a negative scale? Because he believes that human thoughts are complex, multidimensional, and easily influenced and changed. Basically, human thoughts can be divided into two types. Good thoughts, positive thinking, and bad thoughts, negative thinking. Like the oscillation of a pendulum, depending on how one adjusts their thinking, their life will transform accordingly. What is good thinking? What is bad thinking? Good thinking, positive thinking, can be simply understood through words like justice, fairness, effort, humility, integrity, and compassion. Key points to help you understand positive thinking. Always think positively about the future, be determined, and have a constructive mindset. Be harmonious, want to work with others. Be serious, upright, humble, and always strive. Not selfish, no contentment, always be grateful. Be full of kindness, care, and gentleness. Conversely, bad thinking, negative thinking, is the opposite of good thinking. For example, selfishness, pettiness, self-interest, and calculation. Signs of negative thinking include always looking back, being negative, uncooperative, gloomy, full of malice, wanting to harm others, not serious, lying, arrogant, and lazy, selfish, greedy, only full of dissatisfaction, concealing one's faults, hating and envying others. According to Kazuo Inamori, to live a bright life, we need to act and behave based on positive thinking in all situations we encounter in life, whether favorable or challenging. Especially when facing difficulties, we should not give up immediately. When encountering unfortunate events or being treated unfairly, we should not harbor resentment or blame others. In such situations, each person needs to have the right thinking to illuminate and guide their soul. When facing adversity, Kazuo Inamori advises us to learn to be grateful. Every adversity is an opportunity for us to change, grow, and improve ourselves, creating significant turning points in life. Moreover, to achieve success and live a meaningful life, each of us needs to have a clear idea of the career we want to build and understand the type of person we want to become in the future. To do this, Kazuo Inamori advises us to strive to achieve the following qualities. First, determined to become an admirable person. An admirable person is a perfect individual with excellence in their entire character. A perfect person means someone who chooses to do the right things as a human being, rooted in good thoughts. Each of us must continually strive to become a person whose character makes others say, "Yes, that person is wonderful." This greatness is not just about being highly capable, but also about being someone others naturally wish to walk through life with, work with, and be fortunate to have in their lives. Perhaps what will surprise you most in this book is the author's advice on work, or any field, to be determined to fully embrace the idea of perfection. The idea of perfection means that whenever you choose to do something, be determined to do it meticulously, wholeheartedly, and to the end, regardless of whether it's a big or small task. The important thing is to believe that you can do it, put your heart and soul into everything, and not have a half-hearted, perfunctory attitude. According to him, a person who wants to live an admirable life cannot stop setting the goal of becoming perfect. If you slack off even 1% at the end, sometimes everything can go back to zero. To have your efforts bear fruit, always set the goal of seeking perfection. Always be endlessly romantic about the future. In reality, life is complicated and not easy. Besides the little luck we might stumble upon, life is still full of thorns, continuously creating thousands of challenges waiting to take us down at any moment. In addition to wanting to become someone admirable, Kazuo Inamori advises each person to transform themselves into a romantic in life. A romantic is someone who chooses to think positively, knows how to plant dreams in their heart like a young person in their 20s. A romantic knows how to ignite the fire of passion within themselves when no one else is around to support or encourage them. Kazuo Inamori recounts the time when he first founded Kyocera. Although the company faced many difficulties in its early days, he never lost heart because, at that time, he considered himself a dreaming man. He often talked to his employees about his dreams. Even in the later years of his life, he was always grateful for having dreams. Dreams made him feel young and full of energy, like someone in their 20s. Even though I went through a turbulent youth, I never forgot to dream and hope. I believe that who I am today is because I have worked hard to dream, hope, and think optimistically. A person who walks a happy path in life surely has a cheerful mindset. For others, disasters and difficulties might be obstacles. But if each of us knows how to see the positive side, transform difficulties into opportunities to grow, and carry gratitude for the experiences in our lives will change for the better. Start thinking, "I can do it," and your life will bloom. To succeed in work and the career you dream of, you need to have the desire to walk that path and be determined to pursue it, no matter how many storms or whirlwinds of life you face. If you don't want to be subdued by difficulties, and if you are determined to achieve your goals, you must harbor strong and great thoughts like that. Strong thinking contains an incredible power beyond human imagination. The strong thinking that the author mentions is not merely self-affirmation that you say lightly and then forget. According to him, to have strong thinking, each of us needs to continually imbue our subconscious with it every day. By performing actions before sleeping and after waking up, you need to repeat your desires so that they take root deep in your mind. The human subconscious operates powerfully. When we repeat an idea long enough, it will guide our actions in line with what we think. This can be considered a form of self-suggestion, a healthy and positive kind of self-suggestion. To have good, correct thinking, what qualities should a person cultivate? Goodness is the root of success, and according to him, the root of goodness starts with gratitude. Kazuo Inamori founded Kyocera when he was just 27 years old. At that time, he had little experience running a business. Initially, the company faced many difficulties and had to borrow money to maintain operations, but he quickly led the company out of debt and gradually grew it into a large enterprise. Throughout this process, he realized that the company's growth was not just due to his efforts alone, but also thanks to the support of thousands of employees in the company, the contractors who were always willing to listen to the company's difficulties, and friends who helped him in times of distress. Therefore, he always kept deep gratitude in his heart for everyone around him. He was also grateful to his family, wife, and children for understanding him because, during the process of building his career, he hardly had time for his family. According to him, in distress, it is easy for people to express dissatisfaction, but those feelings will eventually always come back to us, pushing us into worse situations. Therefore, no matter what situation you find yourself in, approach it with an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful even for the smallest things, joys, sorrows, successes, failures, and even seemingly obvious things like the environment, the country, the air. Cultivating gratitude will help you realize you possess many valuable gifts. Contentment. No matter how much material wealth surrounds you, if you keep chasing after endless desires, you will never be satisfied. Your soul will always be full of discontent, and you certainly won't feel happiness. On the contrary, even if you lack material wealth and are in dire poverty, if you have a peaceful heart, you will be happy. Contentment here refers to being satisfied with what you have, whether it be appearance, family background, or talent. Being content does not mean not striving. In essence, contentment is accepting what you have, not being envious of what others possess, and not continuously chasing after material wealth due to a sense of inadequacy, allowing selfishness and narrow-mindedness to dominate your mind. A content person is someone who knows how to use their heart to avoid temptations, allowing their heart to feel happiness, directing themselves to focus on good deeds, and creating value for life and others. Honesty. Live truthfully with yourself no matter what obstacles you face. Living truthfully means living in line with your personal ideals, doing what you desire. Absolutely avoid choosing to live by compromising with the idea that as long as I survive day by day, that's enough, or living to please others. To live truthfully, always ask yourself, as a human being, what is the right thing to do? Then follow the path you believe in. Even if it's a difficult path, follow it with a righteous heart. Your straightforward attitude may cause those around you to oppose you, sometimes making you feel isolated and lonely. But in the long run, you will gradually realize that all the effort and hard work you put in will be rewarded. Diligence. Diligence means working hard seriously, doing everything to the best of your ability, even the smallest tasks. Serious effort, giving your all, will create wonderful people in labor. People who work hard from a young age, go through many hardships, and train themselves diligently will raise their character and live a happy life. Patience. Life often brings about things that make the soul suffer, like failure, pressure from social standards, unrealistic expectations from family, and countless other invisible pressures. But just like water spilled cannot be gathered back, once a failure has happened, no matter how much you torment yourself, it won't mean anything. If you continue to dwell on regrets, it will only cause more suffering. The most important thing at such moments is not to let yourself stay in a state of sorrow for too long, but to create new thoughts and switch to new actions. Be patient in your work to turn current difficulties into opportunities connected to the future. Humility. An old Chinese proverb says, "Only the humble receive blessings." This means that arrogant people cannot attain happiness. Only those with humble hearts can truly enjoy happiness. We often look at successful people, those with status, fame, and wealth, and feel envious, thinking, how happy that person must be. But according to the author, sometimes success, fame, and wealth are tests from heaven for them. Achieving success and becoming wealthy can make people become extravagant, and having fame can lead to arrogance. Eventually, it's easy to lose one's way and fall into a deep pit. Life is always in flux, with ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but only those who nurture their hearts with humility need not fear being overwhelmed by life's storms. Great ambition. When he first founded Kyocera, starting with a borrowed warehouse of a company in Miyake, Inamori Kazuo boldly declared to all employees that Kyocera must become the #1 company, starting with being the #1 in Nakagyo district, then #1 in Kyoto, and once #1 in Kyoto, strive to be #1 in Japan, and once #1 in Japan, strive to be the #1 company in the world. And just as with his initial determination, after many years of effort, overcoming countless challenges and failures, working tirelessly day and night, Inamori Kazuo and all the employees have elevated Kyocera from a humble startup in a borrowed warehouse to one of the top 500 companies in the world. The great lesson he learned is that to achieve great success, one must set high goals and have great ambition, determined to conquer those goals, no matter how many difficulties one faces. With great ambition, what seemed impossible becomes possible. Action, focus, and creativity in work. No matter how grand and noble the goal, if you don't actually take action, everything remains theoretical, and the goal remains on paper, turning yellow with age. All success in life begins with a big thought and diligent hard work. In reality, it's not about aiming for the goal, but putting your best effort into living each day. If today you live with all your might, you will naturally see tomorrow. If you live with all your might tomorrow, you will envision the whole week. If you live with all your might for a week, you will see the whole month. If you live with all your might for a month, you will see the whole year. If you live with all your might this year, you will see the next year. The key is to live with all your might, putting all your strength into each moment. To turn dreams into reality, nothing else but accumulating simple daily efforts is necessary. Self-reflection. Through self-reflection, we learn to control selfish thoughts and build a noble heart. The human mind is inherently full of worries and ambitions. It can be said that initially, every person's heart is full of selfishness and self-interest. So how do we cultivate a kind and pure heart, one that blooms with fragrant flowers? First, think that I must elevate my heart. I must learn to beautify my soul. I must strive not to become worse than who I am now. Elevating the heart begins with continuous self-reflection. You need to know what thoughts are in your heart, learn to eliminate bad thoughts, and develop beautiful ones. The philosopher James Allen guided each of us on how to manage our hearts as follows. The human heart is like a garden. There are gardens wisely cultivated and cared for, and there are gardens left to run wild. But surely in either case, something will grow there. If you don't plant beautiful seeds in your garden, then surely weeds will grow in abundance, and there will be nothing but weeds. Harmony finally. Always keep your heart full of love to connect with the will of the universe. The reason we need to cultivate love in our hearts is that the energy that creates the universe is love. Initially, the universe started from a very small handful of elements, but under the continuous movement of time, the universe has grown vast and infinite. The flow that guides the universe's development and evolution is always the flow of love, nurturing all things to progress and grow continuously. Therefore, to grow, we also need to strive to align ourselves with the universe's flow, starting by cultivating a heart full of love, compassion, and living for oneself and others. Only when a person carries a pure heart and acts righteously will they receive help when needed and be blessed by heaven and earth. If life is likened to a boat crossing the vast ocean, then to have the life we desire, each of us must do our best to steer our life's boat. Cultivating and developing good and kind thoughts is like hoisting a sail to catch the wind. If the sail catches the wind with a kind heart, untainted by greed, selfishness, or petty interests, surely that person will receive the wonderful and mysterious power of the universe and have a fulfilling and rich life. All good things in life will begin with good thoughts, from those who cultivate a heart that knows how to contribute to others. Book review. The book Think Good is quite concise, but contains meaningful and profound content. In the book, the author recounts some real stories about his life full of challenges and failures. Through this, he conveys a valuable message that the path to success is never smooth, but each of us can achieve our own outcomes by bravely overcoming challenges and failures. The important thing is to have a strong will, continually cultivate a pure conscience, and maintain the right mindset in every situation of life. When reading this book, I was particularly moved by the part where the author writes about the effort to live romantically in life, to ignite the fire of dreams and passions within oneself, even when no one is there to cheer or encourage. That statement touched my heart and inspired me during the days when I felt uncertain on my journey forward. If you are on the path of self-discipline, striving to cultivate a righteous and noble mindset, this small book can become a sincere companion. Whenever you face disappointment, the simple words shared in this book will plant a great source of strength in your heart.